Hello students, welcome back to my video. So in the last video we have seen the properties of rectangle and square. So today we will start the exercise 3.4. Okay. So the first question is state whether true or false. You have to write true or false by reading the statements. So all rectangles are square. So what is this? All rectangles are square or not? What do you say? So all rectangles are not square because in rectangle the opposite sides are different, but in square all the sides are equal. So all rectangles cannot be square. So square has all the sides equal, so it is false. Now all rhombuses are parallelograms. Rhombus means it is like a square where all the sides are equal but it is slanting. Okay, so all rhombus are parallelogram, right? Because it is like a parallelogram because the diagonals bisect each other. Okay, and opposite sides are parallel also. In parallelogram the opposite side should be parallel, so that's why all rhombus are parallelogram also. So it is true. All squares are rhombus and also rectangle. All squares. So what? Rhombus, right? Because in rhombus all the sides are equal. Okay, so it can be square also and also rectangle, because in rectangle and square what is the common thing? The all the angles are 90 degree, correct? So it is also true. So you have to match like this. So okay, common things you have to match. If no common things coming, then it is false. If any one common things comes, then it is true. All squares are not parallelograms. That means what? All square are parallelogram? No, because in parallelogram the angles are not 90 degree, but in square the angles are 90 degree. No doubt the opposite sides of the parallelogram squares are parallel. Here also in parallelogram parallel, but in parallelogram the angles are not 90 degree, but in square the angles are 90 degree. So no common. Okay, this is a difference, so it is false. Okay, now all kites are rhombuses. Kites. Now say about the kites. You have seen the kite. So all kites are rhombus? No, because in kites the opposite side, the adjacent sides are equal and another are not equal, like this. Okay, like this kite. But rhombus is what? So see, this and this are equal, but this and this are not equal. But in rhombus is what? Like this, all equal. Okay, like this, all equal. That's why it is false. All rhombuses are kites. Now ulta, now the opposite one. All rhombuses are kites. Yes, all rhombus can be kite, because you can see here in the page number this 52, here written all rhombus has all the properties of parallelogram and of kite. So all rhombus can be kite also. Understood? So it is true. Now all parallelograms are trapezium. So it is also true. Why? Because to be a trapezium, the opposite side should be parallel. Okay, any two sides. This side parallel to this side. So in parallelogram also opposite sides are parallel. So it is true. All squares are trapezium. Yes, because in square also opposite sides are parallel to each other, and trapezium also parallel sides are opposite sides are parallel. So it is also true. So in this way you have to analyze and say the answer. Now question number 2, identify all the quadrilaterals that have 4 sides of equal length. So which quadrilateral have the 4 sides and have equal length? So it is what? Rhombus and square, they have what? 4 sides, and rhombus also equal length, all the sides are equal, and square also all the sides are equal. Okay students, rhombus and square. And the next quadrilateral, identify it, which one it is. 4 right angles. So which quadrilateral has 4 right angles? The square and rectangle. No other figure has all the angles right angle. That right angle means 90 degree. So in square and rectangle all the angles are right angle. That means 90 degree. Okay students. So square and rectangle has 90 degree angles. Now next question number 3. Explain how a square is. That means you have to explain one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 conditions are given how a square is a quadrilateral. That means how can you say that square is a quadrilateral? How? So you have to say that Square is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. Quadrilateral means what? Any closed figure which has four sides, that is a quadrilateral. So square has four sides, that's why it is a quadrilateral. So in this way you have to give the reason one by one. So students, you have to write like this: square is a quadrilateral because square has four sides. Now understood? Now 2 number question. Now how a square is a parallelogram? So a square is a parallelogram because the opposite sides are parallel. In a square, opposite sides are parallel. That's why it is also a parallelogram, right? So students, you can see here, a square has its opposite sides parallel, right? So it is a parallelogram. Okay. So students, now is rhombus. How a square is a rhombus? So a square is a rhombus because it is also a square is also a parallelogram whose all the sides are equal to each other. So in rhombus also all the sides are equal to each other. So square is a rhombus also, right? So students, you can see here, a square is a parallelogram with all the four sides equal, right? So all the four sides of a square are equal, so it is a rhombus also. Understood? Now how a square is a rectangle? So a square is a rectangle because all the angles of a square is also right angle, okay, like rectangle. So a square has all angles right angle, so it is a rectangle also, okay. Now question number 4, name the quadrilaterals whose diagonals bisect each other. So which quadrilateral diagonals bisect each other? So parallelogram, then rhombus, square and rectangle, all the four quadrilaterals diagonals bisect each other. So the quadrilaterals whose diagonals bisect each other are rectangle, square, parallelogram and rhombus. So all these four quadrilaterals, all the diagonals bisect each other. Okay. Next one, the perpendicular bisector of each other. So whose quadrilaterals perpendicular bisectors of each other? That means the perpendicular bisectors are 90-degree angle. So it is what? Square and rhombus only, right? So the 2-number answer is square and rhombus. Okay. Now 3-number, the quadrilateral whose diagonals are equal. So whose quadrilaterals diagonals are equal? So can you say that? So in square and rectangle only, the diagonals are equal to each other. Okay. So the 3-number answer is square and rectangle whose diagonals are equal to each other. So next question number 5, explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. So you know convex quadrilateral means all the diagonals are inside, interior of the figure. So in rectangle, all the diagonals are interior of the figure. Okay, interior of the structure. Okay, that's why it is a convex quadrilateral. So the answer is, a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral because both of its diagonals lie in its interior. Okay, both of it means because in rectangle 2 diagonals are there, so the 2 diagonals lie inside the figure, that means lie in its interior. Now last question number 6, ABC is a right angle triangle. So here you can see ABC is a right angle triangle where it is angle B is 90-degree. O is the midpoint of side opposite to the right angle. So O is the midpoint of this side AC. So explain why O is equidistant from A. So you have to explain why O is equidistant from A, then B and C. B and C. Equidistance means what? Equal distance. Okay. Why OA is equal, then OB is equal, and OC. Why 3 lines are equal? So you have to explain it. Why O is in the same distance from this A, B and C. Okay. So to explain this question, these dotted lines are made so that it will become a rectangle, and we can extend this line OB to OD. Okay, and we can join AD and DC. So this is our extra construction to solve this problem. So in rectangle we know that the diagonals bisect each other. So this BD is a diagonal and AC is a what? It is also a diagonal. So diagonals bisect each other at point O. That means this side equal to this side equal to this side. Or you can say it is a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel to each other. So diagonals are bisecting each other at point O. So this is the middle point, midpoint. So midpoint is always have the equal distance from this other points. Okay. So students, the answer can be written in this way. You have to explain it. So here you have seen in the figure, AD is parallel to BC, right? And AB is parallel to CD. See here, AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. And AC and BD are the diagonal. Now ABCD is a parallelogram. In this way, when the opposite sides are parallel, though ABCD is a parallelogram, so diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. You know this property. That's why O is the midpoint of AC and BD. So here O is the midpoint of AC and BD. That's why O is the equidistance from A, B and C. So therefore O is equidistant from A, B and C. Understood this concept? So in this way our exercise 3.4 is complete. So this exercise is completely theory based, conceptual based exercise. Okay, no calculation, nothing. So it is an important conceptual theory exercise. So in this way our chapter is also complete. This chapter number 3 is also complete. So I request everybody to learn all the properties, practice all the exercise nicely. Okay, so you can see this table also, it is given very nicely. All the figures have all the properties here given nicely, so that you can remember easily. So thank you so much.